Hey Taurus, and welcome to your October 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to deliver you hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And wow, it is a completely new energy that is really jumping into you guys as I am realizing really clearly as I start to do your reading. The last few days for me has been, or have been, kind of just sort of a blur, and I've sort of been embarking on a lot of new journeys myself, as I know that you guys have been as well. Like, I feel a strong relation to the Taurus energy right now, and I'm taking some new chances and some new risks, and I'm starting to realize, like, wow, this is where Taurus is. It's like there are all of these new opportunities, all of these new risks, all of these new potentials that start to open up, and you start to try to embrace them, and you start to try to create these new possibilities and pursue these new manifestations. And you realize as you start to do that, like, how much it entails and how much maybe of your own demons that you're sort of having to face as you really start to move up and you really start to create new habits and new outcomes and new ways of generating your reality, new job opportunities, new relationships. It's all possible for Taurus right now, as it is for Scorpio as well, because again, I'm sort of your opposite here, and I'm feeling this very strongly for you guys. Because as you guys know, like, I'm trying some new things with my channel. I'm trying some new things with what I do, and in other sectors of my life, there's a lot of new things. I'm moving. I'm just a lot of really big changes for me as a person, and it's been a lot to take. It's been a lot to fathom, and I thought to myself, well, I need to get readings done, and I need to work on things. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll do Cancer's reading, or maybe I'll do Scorpio's reading, and they'll understand, like, what I'm going through and where I am with my experience. And I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to do Taurus's reading, because you guys have an emotional understanding of people that is more solid and more deep than a lot of people give credit to. I mean, again, I think of like Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, the water signs, when I think of emotional understanding. But Taurus gets it. Taurus understands life. Taurus understands emotional patterns, and Taurus understands better than anybody being fixated in one emotional place. Like, if Taurus loves somebody with all parts of their being. If Taurus dislikes somebody or hates somebody, Taurus hates somebody with all parts of their being. And it's really hard to get them to change their opinion. And what's really been so hard for Taurus that I've just now started to realize as I embark on new things is that you guys are having to change. You guys are having to decide differently. Like, maybe somebody that you've loved for a long time, you're having to choose to not like anymore, and that's being really hard for you. Some of you guys who you've not liked for a long time, you're starting to get more common ground with, and there's been a lot of like realization that, wow, I have maybe more in common with someone that I disliked than I realized. And it's been like this really kind of self-realizing point in your life where you think, I can't dislike some of these people that I've disliked, because I realize that I'm doing some of the same things that they are. And ultimately, maybe by disliking them, I'm stepping into tendencies of self-sabotage within myself. And maybe for some of you Taurus with Scorpio in you out there, I don't know, like a Jupiter in Scorpio, or a moon or rising sign in Scorpio, or a Mars or something, maybe this would relate more clearly, because I am a Scorpio, obviously, and I'm coming at this from this side. But I just felt in my intuition that I needed to apply this to Taurus, and that you guys needed to hear some of this. And what is this exactly that I'm telling you? I'm not sure. All I can say is I feel like I'm changing, and I feel like the way that I reach out to people is changing. And it kind of got real, it kind of got heavy, it kind of got emotional in my place. And for some reason, I just felt like I needed to do your reading for that reason. Now, it's no secret that I've had many Taurus people in my life who are very pivotal and have really, I feel, catalyzed my existence in the way that it is. Like I say, if it weren't for Taurus people, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have some of the amazing blessings that I have in my life. But at the same time, through these blessings, I start to see, through the new risks that I'm taking, through the new outlay of energy that I'm putting into new content and stuff, I start to see how much of a double-edged sword it is, and how much I love it, but how much, when you start to love something, how much sort of disdain comes along with that in some cases. And I feel that Taurus can learn so much from this, because it's like, the more that you love something, the more risks you're willing to take for it, the more potentialities that open up for discord to come through, for possibilities of not getting what you expected happen, you know? And it's really hard to be in a place where you so enjoy what you do and you feel so rewarded by what you do, but know that in order to continue it, you have to step into a place of risking it in some way, and maybe feeling like you're denying something within yourself to prolong it or to take it to the next level. Because it's funny how humans work in that way. Once you become satisfied with something that you've done, it's no longer enough, or it's no longer satiating that which had hunger within you, so you kind of have this drive to make it bigger and better, as I sort of am with my channel. And as you guys know, I've had this Patreon launch, which you can check the description box below. There's going to be plenty of information on it. I'm not trying to push that in any way, but it's been a lot of my like, oh my gosh, is it going to work out? I'm putting in like so much extra work for it, and I'm like, oh my god, help me type of thing, you know. And that's not so important right now, but the whole concept of really working hard to accomplish something, of really putting your being into whatever it is that you do in your life, and simultaneously thinking, do the people who ever mattered to me even care? Do they even know? Do they even realize that I'm being successful, that I've accomplished something, that I did it? Because I don't know. And when I really realized that I was feeling this, that because it's something that had been lurking within me for a long time. It's like, do these people who meant so much to me at one point in time of my life, who are no longer around me, know that I've done this, that I've fulfilled an aspiration that I had in some way? Do they care? Do they wish? Are they jealous? Do they wish that I hadn't accomplished it? Do they feel indifferent to me accomplishing it? It hurts to wonder and not have any confirmation. And when I felt this, when I realized that it was there, and I was able to accept that I was feeling these feelings, all of a sudden, like, the universe was just like, Taurus is here. And yes, some of these people that I'm thinking of had Taurus in them and were Taurian people, and also the people who helped me to get over that were Taurian people as well. So it was just clear to me, it's like Taurus must be going through this as well. Taurus is experiencing this in some way, where you have accomplished something amazing, and you have done something with your life that is so notable, even if it doesn't feel like it's some sort of aspirational related sector of your life that it's coming from. But you are worried that the people who were once around you, that you once invested all of your energy into, you're worried that they don't care, or that they're indifferent, or that they won't be there for you once you're successful. And you worry that your success, to be experienced only by you yourself, will not be enough to fulfill the energetic investments that you've taken. And some people might say that it's a bit narcissistic to be so concerned with other people's opinions of your considered successes, but it has more to do with mourning relationships which have passed and that had a certain probability to be something in the future, and the stark realization through accomplishing something that the relationship never could be, and that what you thought would be the future of something ended up not coming to fruition. And through that, you see directly how wrong you were in your prediction of what your life was going to be. It's not really about you. It's not about the success. It's not about people's opinions of the success. It's about what's under that, because this isn't narcissism that I'm catching on to. Although your sign can struggle with that, along with like Leo and Scorpio and Aries tend to be the signs that can struggle really heavily with narcissistic traits. I will say, just as kind of like a footnote, that the spiritual community and psychological community have turned the idea of narcissism into something that it's not actually. That's not what this is about, because this isn't the trait that I'm seeing. But I want to be clear. It's not about, you know, your success and other people not realizing you for the sake of ego validation in some kind of narcissistic way. It's about what's under that. It's about the realization that a relationship was unpredictable, and that you invested all of your energy into somebody, and that you thought that you had an equal exchange, and you were ultimately incorrect. And through whatever process of that changing, your prediction or the reality of your entire experience changing through whatever process that was. You ultimately had to own up to somebody not being able to be for you in the way that you anticipated, and now you have to be successful and be fulfilled in some way and realize that they're not there in a more strong way. And is that making sense, Taurus? It's been something that I've kind of been going through myself, and that I just felt needed to be conveyed to you guys. I don't know what it was. I hope that it made sense for you. But it's definitely also echoed through your tarot reading as well. You're celebrating a lot, but through celebrations, it feels to me that you're feeling inhibited, or you're feeling like because that's what I saw from your tarot that made me really click that together. It was like, you have that Four of Wands, but you have Two of Swords as well. So it's like through celebrating, through having some kind of success or windfall in your life, you for some reason want to hide away from it, or you want to maybe self-sabotage the success because you are less reminded of where things went wrong when you're existing in a more negative headspace. It's like to exist in a more positive headspace, to be congratulated, to reach the milestones more clearly accentuates the roadblocks that were there, or the people that you no longer have. And this sounds super depressing, Taurus, and it's just because, again, as I mentioned in the September reading, go back and watch September. You are above a lot of humanity right now in a way. Now, not all Taurus. I actually got a lot of kind of hate comments on the Taurus September video because of people who have had difficult experience with Taurus, where they were like, no, Taurus is not above humanity. If he's above humanity, then that's like not a good place for humanity. Not all Taurus are there, like they're going to be higher evolved and lower evolved versions of each sign. But that's one of my pet peeves, when people come to another sign's reading that they've had an experience with that sign and they're like, not that sign. And then they sort of are like, if I say anything good about that sign, they're like, no, I've been put through a bad experience by that sign, so they can't do good things, That's always been a pet peeve for me. But you guys, for the most part, are really ahead of the game in some way. And it can get lonely because you see so clearly who's behind and who's below and who's struggling. And some of you might have exes who really want to reach out to you or really want to make amends, but you know that nothing good can come from that. So you're kind of choosing to not reopen the experience because you're maybe afraid that you'll fall for them again, or they'll fall for you again, and you just can't be bothered. Some of you are on the other side of that as well. You really want a closure, or you really want a new experience with somebody from your past, but you're really afraid to open that door. And through your successes, you're starting to see that more clearly. It is a month where you can be very inspired, Taurus. Moves can happen here. You can go into other countries. You can go on new journeys. And small things like traveling, I don't know, to the next town over and going to the restaurant that you've never been to can really open new doors for you in weird ways. Because I've said this for a while for Taurus, but just your presence gives to people something quite, what do I want to say? It's irreplaceable. It's kind of not penetrable. But you're hard to see right now. You're hard to see. So the people that do see you, basically whenever you go out, and the people that are around you, you're doing them good. And that might, so for any of the Taurus haters out there, they're going to be very upset to hear that Taurus are just inherently healing people around them when they're at the grocery store or something, but it's true. Whoever sees you during this time, Taurus, is inherently very helped and very healed just by your presence. So think about who in your life needs your presence, and if you're willing to give them your presence, if you're willing to be there for them. And if you're not, why are you not? If you are, why are you? It's good to know why you want to be around people right now. It's good to know why you want to experience people the way that you do. It's good to know why you want to be alone. And it's good to know why you're looking for the type of people you're looking for. Why it's a why month for you, Taurus. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you where you're at? Why in October? A lot of reversals in your reading. The only things upright are the Seven of Swords and the Four of Wands and the Three of Swords and then Two of Swords. Okay, that's about half and half. But you're looking at things from new perspectives this month, And there is something very clear to celebrate, and it would be really nice to see you guys coming into a place of being able to celebrate it in a more wholesome way without being so clearly reminded of what you lost along the way. But I want to look into the week to week because this is already a long reading, but I thought that I could confide in you guys a little bit. And you can jump over to my Scorpio reading and hear a little bit more of my situation. Since I'm a Scorpio, I like to just vent a little bit to them because it sort of makes sense. But hopefully I made sense in sort of what I was talking about. It was very raw. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to do anything just because it feels better to keep it raw this month. But yeah, anyway, in the first week, you guys have Page of Wands reversed, rooted down by Five of Wands reversed. You are completely reassessing the way that you get things done in your life. You are completely reorganizing your inspirations and your motivations right now. The entire Wand suit in Tarot deals with enthusiasm, passion, motivations, inspiration, luck, and abundance, and things that revolve around the fire element. And those are two reversals, so something is not right relating to your fire element. And you are an earth sign, so fire is typically an inharmonious element to your Taurus placements. So it makes sense that you guys are having a bit of an evolution there. I think that there's a very strong need for Taurus to redefine their relationship with the fire element. You guys are very passive earth energy, and getting a more expansive outward masculine like fire thrust within you will really help in some of your situations and help you to kind of raise your vibration. You know, more spontaneity is good. Holding less grudges is good. Choosing to maybe take up sports or some kind of new version of like sweating or detoxing your body, letting go of things in a new way instead of like really pushing things deep down and letting them solidify in your body. Release toxins. Go to a sauna, have a massage, have like a spa day or something. Start a new detox diet that's healthy during the first week of October, because you're really blessed if you try a little bit with the fire element. If you can get some new inspiration, get some new motivation, try the new art project. Something kind of out there is good in the first week that you kind of look at with a different perspective than you have before. Will be beautiful. Second week, you guys have the Hermit reversed, rooted down by Ace of Wands reversed. A lot of you might be moving here. You might be, if any of you live with like parents or roommates, or you just don't live alone, you could be choosing to live alone in the second week of October. You could be moving into your own place. Likewise, if you're married, you could get divorced here, although I feel like it would have happened like maybe in August, and maybe it's just actually coming to fruition now. And some of you are not quite having the experience of that you expected, like solitude and loneliness. Again, that's been an issue for Taurus because you guys need alone time. You guys love alone time. However, you usually need something to occupy you. Like you struggle if you're just like in a room staring at four walls or something. Like you've got to like be on your phone, or you've got to be thinking about what you're doing or talking with somebody, or like on social media. Taurus is a very social sign, but it enjoys its alone time. It's the weirdest thing that I've seen with you guys, and kind of just an issue with our culture and society in general, because of social media and because of the way that we relate with people right now. It's really hard to be alone because you can be alone with like social media, you know, so it's created this weird like solitude relationship. You guys are definitely confronting that in the second week, and you are also on a completely different level. You are maybe, a lot of you are starting business from home. A lot of you are your own bosses now. A lot of you are making money from like your own efforts. Like you're not employed by somebody now, or you're choosing to quit your job in favor of self-employment. It's a good time to do that, but it will also be very good to be prepared. So if you guys need to spend a little bit more time in your job to save up a little bit more, that is encouraged during this time. Those are reversed, so it would be very easy to see you quit everything very quickly and then all of a sudden be like, whoa, what have I done? It's not that you can't handle it, but you're just not in a very good place to have sudden new experiences. It's about sort of a middle ground with new passions, with new extroverted ideals. Okay, in the third week, you guys have the Fool reversed, rooted down by Four of Wands. This is the best week of the month, in my opinion. Even though the Fool is reversed, it does still give with it some hope. It's also a symbol of protection, as well as the Hermit is as well. You are protected during the new endeavors that you take on during this time. You are protected if you are more alone right now. There are figures helping you, although it can be hard for you to see because they're reversed. So really taking time to think, like, where are my blessings? Where are my benevolent actions? Where are my guides? Like, if you think about it a little bit more, you can see it very clearly, but it's also easy to think that you're very alone and isolated right now if you're not careful, and you have to avoid too much negative emphasis on isolation right now. But I still think that the third week is the best week because you have that rooted down by that really nice, upright Four of Wands. You're having some kind of celebration here. Some of you could be getting married here. Some of you could be starting the new business here, or maybe you've been doing the new business for like a whole year now, and your going into your fourth quarter, you're like making way more money than you expected, and you have some kind of celebratory dinner or something. It's good to congratulate yourself here, or to be busy during this time with congratulatory affairs, like congratulating other people too on what they've done. Like if you know somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time and you see they're successful, it will be amazing karma for you guys to reach out to them and say, wow, I'm impressed at what you've done. Do you have any recommendations on what I'm doing? You've been so successful. Congratulations. Whoever you can congratulate, it will really help your karma to do that during the third week. Also, you can for a small percentage of you are not able to do what you wanted to do that you had like planned for a long time. What do I mean? Some of you may have had like a getaway planned or a vacation plan for this time of the year, and you have to choose not to do it. Some of you are might have had to, I don't know, maybe a friend got into an accident, or your parents need you for something, or something with the family falls through and you have to end up canceling your plans to like go abroad or something, or push them back. There is an energy in general in October of Taurus having to delay things, or having to wait a little bit longer. And it's really good. It's something that makes you like thrust off in a much better way, and makes you have like a much more solid, even-tempered experience of success. But there's something potentially in the third week that just slows things down a little bit. That's just a random message that came forward, not really even indicative of either of those cards, except for the Fool reverse, which can represent, not being able to do the new thing as quickly as you expected. But it feels strong to me that could be the case for a lot of you. Also, some of your friends are getting married, or someone that you don't like is getting married, and that's kind of very abstract and not like that important, but you're seeing other people succeed, and you have to remember that what seems like success from other people doesn't necessarily equate to that in their minds. Taurus struggles with like really surface level successes must mean that everybody is like satisfied at an inner level, because that's sort of the double-edged sword for you guys. Like if Taurus is not internally consistent, or if Taurus is really struggling emotionally, that will reflect itself in your finances and your marriage. And it's like if you're feeling unhealthy, your finances will struggle. Or if you're feeling like unresolved, your job will fall through. It's not the case for some other signs. In fact, some other signs like Capricorn, for instance, even Leo and Libra, those signs can tend to actually attract financial benevolence when they're struggling. So do remember that. And not everybody is actually how they show themselves to be. And also take a while to sit with yourself, especially moving into the fourth week with Two of Wands rooted down by Two of Swords rooted down by Seven of Swords. Take some time to reflect on the face that you show the world versus who you actually are. You're not quite looking at something for face value, and some people could be taking advantage of what you're choosing to show, or what you're choosing to market yourself off of. And some people, and it could also, there are some Taurus out there too who are like not owning up to what they needed to be, who made promises that they couldn't hold on to. And some people have done that to other Taurus as well. Like somebody broke a promise. That's just what that feels like to me in the fourth week, a broken promise. So I'm so sorry, and I extend so much warmth and light to you guys who had somebody break a promise to you. And a lot of you don't want to look at it. A lot of you want to be like, no, that's just like, how can I blame this on myself? How can I take on this guilt? I don't want to blame them, when in reality it was sort of them. And you just really have to come into a place where you're willing to, go the next mile without relying on other people. Taurus is kind of needing to not rely so much on other people. You can make amends with people right now. People can make amends with you. But you have to be careful about relying on other people to be something for you during this time for sure. And especially with your central theme being Three of Swords, you know, there's a lot of heartbreak potentiality in October, but that's already happened. Like, you guys aren't experiencing new heartbreak. It's all about the past. It's all about what you've been through. You've already had these experiences. You don't have to keep repeating them, but what you do have to do is you have to start using them as a springboard, and you have to start making things right with other people, yes, but with yourself mainly. Like, because you'll see as you start to make things right with yourself, as you start to own up to who you actually are, and you start to honor your authenticity, you'll start to see how the people around you that have either wronged you or that maybe you feel that you've wronged, you'll start to see that things like that start to fall into place. Once you can have a bit of accountability for yourself and you can start to honor your needs. And I think that it's really beautiful to see Taurus finally coming into a place where you can do that and where you have sort of the formula to honor your own needs. I'm really proud to see that for you guys. It makes me so happy. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I wish I could hear from some of my old Taurus people some more, and for any of my Taurus other friends out there listening, hit me up, because I need your energy in my life, and I will be talking to you guys soon, and thank you guys so much for following me on Patreon, and for all of your likes and comments. It keeps me going. I will be talking to you soon. Bye. And if this reading was helpful for you guys, I really hope you'll get the chance to check out my new Patreon page. The link should be popping up in the center of your screen right now. Through Patreon, you can see my readings with no ads and also have early access to them. I also do monthly drawings for free readings and have lots of fun discussions. So if you are interested, you can be sure and check it out. If you guys would like to book a private reading with me, that link is in the description box. And I hope that you'll get the chance to subscribe to my YouTube channel here now if you want to keep track of the reading process and what all I am putting out. I hope you guys have an amazing October, and I will be seeing you in November. Bye.